Please subscribe and don't forget to press the bell icon to get notified whenever we upload a new video.
Hi there, good afternoon. You're watching Your Stocks. I'm Mangalam. With me is Nigel D'Souza. For the markets, it is a down day, no two ways about that. But the point is that we are still outperforming the other markets of the world, including Asia as well as Europe, which is at the low point of the day. The only couple of stocks, Nigel, which come onto my radar right now, we have IndusInd Bank, which is taking a bit of a knock currently at the low point of the day. And remember, with on account of the impending merger with Bharat Financial Inclusion, that one too is at the low point of the day. But NCL Industries on the screen, you have something to say about it?
Yeah, I think our director is quite eager in pulling up the stock. Let's pull up NCL Industries. The stock moves to the high point of the day. There's a big release of pledge actually. Yeah, I think it's around 14 lakh shares. That amounts to around 3.25%. Valuation-wise, all these stocks are coming to very attractive levels, but they've all corrected a goodish bit from the top. The problem is that the offtake is not really there out there. But this is good news, a positive. One of the overhangs that there was some bit of pledge on the stock that's gradually getting released. So pretty good news. The stock moves higher. But the more important one that we were looking at, as Mangalam said, is IndusInd Bank.
IndusInd Bank, along with Bharat Financial Inclusion, the impending merger taking both the stocks lower in tandem. So Bharat Financial Inclusion should come up for you as well. That one trades at the low point of the day. We'll keep an eye out on individual stocks, but first up, all the top stories that we're tracking at this point in time. Possibility of fresh US tariffs on Chinese goods drag Asian markets lower. Shanghai ends with over a 3% cut. Dow futures indicate a rough start. Global emerging market funds record 5 weeks of outflows.
And Indian markets under pressure as Asian markets end with deep losses. Heavyweight stocks like Infosys and Reliance Industries, they bear down on the index. The mid-cap index lags in trade.
The ICICI Bank stock gives a muted response to the big management shake-up. Sandeep Bakshi appointed as the COO, MD and CEO Chanda Kochar to go on leave till inquiry is complete.
And pharma stocks remain the lone warrior in an otherwise weak market. Lupin's management says that the worst of pricing pressure in the United States is over. Adds that the final update on Goa and Pithampur plans to go out by the end of this month.
Finance Minister Piyush Goyal meets heads of all public sector banks today. 17 bankers from North and East regions to attend this meeting. All right, so let's keep an eye out on a couple of stocks from the mid-cap space. We have something like a CG Power, which extends its cut now down 45% for 2018, and right now sitting with a cut of close to around 8%. CG Power is the one that we're talking about. Has been weak all through today's trading session, but now extends that cut, sits at the low point of the day. But this is the show where we answer all your queries, and joining us today we have Sharmila Joshi as well as Prakash Gaba to answer all the questions that you are going to pose to us, and both of them are sitting in our studio, so it is a full house. Thanks a lot for joining in, Sharmila as well as Prakash. Let's take it first to our first caller then. Palash Goklani calls us from Mumbai with a query. Palash, go ahead.
Hello.
Hi Palash, tell me.
I have 52.
All right.
And I want to keep it for next 3 to 5 years. So it is good buy or sell it now.
Okay, so you have about 1,000 shares of IDFC Bank for 52.5 rupees.
I'm looking to buy more.
Okay, you're looking to buy more for 3 to 5 years, is it?
Okay, yes.
Okay, Sharmila, your view?
Well, you know, honestly, even I have some IDFC Bank, and it has really been a bit of a disappointment because, you know, the whole idea was that it's a new bank, it's approaching banking in a new way. So, you know, you expected the gains to be better, but the stock has been range bound at best. But I just think that at this point in time, the capital first, you know, the whole that deal that merger's gotten the RBI approval, it seems to be about 5-6 months down the line. So definitely, I think that at this price, the stock is a hold. And I think to add more, you just need to really keep your eyes on the news flow the next couple of months. And if you really see that capital first merger playing out for IDFC Bank in a positive manner, then I think you add more. Otherwise, I think, you know, some of the other private banks, very honestly, in this last year and a half, have given better returns than IDFC Bank. So on that front, it's been a bit of a disappointment, but I think at this price, it's a hold.
Okay, at this price, it's a bit of a hold is the advice that's coming in there from Sharmila. Prakash, what about you? What do you think? How's it looking in the charts?
Well, he wants to hold for a couple of years. To me, I need to see a trend for that. So far, I don't see a trend, so I won't hold. That's it.
Okay, all right, perfect. Technically, Prakash says that he wouldn't hold it as of now because he doesn't really see a trend in the stock. But I think we have Upadhyay, Mr. Upadhyay, who calls us from Ahmedabad with a query. He has investments in BEL. Hi, sir. Hello? Mr. Upadhyay?
Yeah, I'm Suketu Upadhyay from Ahmedabad.
Hi, sir. Good speaking with you. Thanks so much for calling today. How can we help you? What's your query?
I'm holding the shares, 50 shares of BEL, Bharat Electricals Limited.
Yeah.
I'm a long-term investor and want to stay invested in this stock. Want to know the future of this stock.
Okay, you want to know the future of the stock. Pretty clear then. We spoke about this a couple of days back, Sharmila. What's your take on BEL? Do you believe he should hang on to it? He doesn't mind holding it for a couple of years. Is the best
He may well have to, I think the way things have been for the stock, because, honestly, once again, a bit of a disappointment. I think on a fundamental perspective, at this valuation, the stock looks all right. But the disappointment has come in the numbers and the fact that really, the execution of though they show a large order book, the execution, margins, etc., these have been issues. And not just for BEL, I would say, this has been an issue across the sector. So that's it, but I think, going ahead, looking at their order book as well as the fact that it's a niche player. So a lot of the orders that are in the defense and, that kind of government orders, they're a surety for BEL. And, one expects that to have a bit of a pickup in the coming years, as well as the fact that hopefully their execution will also get back on track. So I think with the expectation of that, I would really hold on to the stock at this level, and hopefully you should be able to see levels at least of 150, 160 over the next couple of years.
All right, 150, 160 over the next couple of years. That's the fundamental view coming in on BEL. Prakash, what would you say? In November, the stock was at around 190 odd rupees, and currently just 7 months down the line, it's 113. This sharp decline, technically, what does it suggest?
You can see some more downside. And possible support is in the vicinity of 100 zones. So it's best is to hold now because he's been holding for a while. This is not the place to exit, but hold it here. Might see a bounce from the closer to these zones. If it happens, where does it go? Maybe around 140 zones. That happens, you can exit there. So far, hold.
All right, hold for targets of 140 as per Prakash and 150 to 160 as per Sharmila. With that, we'll go on to our next caller. We have Augustine R calling us from Kerala with a query. Augustine, go ahead.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
Yep, Augustine, tell us.
Yes.
Go ahead, Augustine.
Hello. Yeah, fine. इस टाटा मोटर हमें 6 महीने से होल्ड कर रहा है.
हाँ.
अभी क्या करना?
6 महीने से आपने 400 रुपए में लिया था.
400 रुपया में लिया.
All right. और ले सकते हो या अभी प्रॉब्लम है कोई?
अभी कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, लेकिन ज्यादा दिन के लिए नहीं, शॉर्ट टाइम के लिए मैं लिया.
Oops. Okay, so short-term investor turned long-term because the price perhaps. Prakash, this is the region 280 to 300 where I've seen Tata Motors bounce back over the last, at least in the last 3-4 years. Do you think it's good for more, or he should just he should get out? He's losing 2 lakh rupees.
Well, he's been holding for a very long time. And he's seen, now it's at the place where it's trading near the support zone. So this is not the place to exit. Here I would say that looks like Tata Motors is in the process of bottoming out. Very good chance that it can bottom out for me. If that happens, then it's a good place to buy.
You think he should
Only thing
average
is
at
have
this
a
level?
larger time frame, increase the time frame and buy. I would say since he's holding it, a hold. In case he wants to add, he can add. What's wrong? Only thing is have a larger time frame, increase the time frame.
Sharmila, what about you? That valuation argument has always been there for Tata Motors as maybe the cheapest Nifty stock, etc. You always hear that, or maybe the cheapest auto stock as well. But what's your advice to Augustine?
I feel it will continue to remain the cheapest auto stock. I think it is going to underperform the sector, unfortunately. But yes, I think numbers have turned positive. We've seen a very strong performance from JLR, and that is actually the bigger piece. So if you want to track the stock, you should be actually seeing what is happening with the JLR rather than getting too concerned over CV and passenger vehicle cars in India, though they're getting their act together even as far as that is concerned. My advice to retail investors who are there for the long term is always to get Tata Motor DVR.
Okay.
But I think he can continue to hold what he has, and as it is, I think he's gone from being short term to long term, so continue to hold.
All right, Augustine, continue to hold. That's the view coming in from both our experts here. But just keep an eye out on Hindustan Unilever. That stock was trading in the red for majority of today's trading session. Now has suddenly moved to the high point of the day. Giving it company out there is its other FMCG friend. We have ITC. That one too is closing in on the high point of today's trading session. So both these stocks lending some bit of support to an otherwise weak market. With that, we'll take a short break. Come back. We focus on some more stocks and queries.
All right, then markets at the low point of the day. Actually, we're down close to around 80 points odd, so just keep an eye out on that front. But I think we have a next caller who's already in, and it's a query on one of these metal stocks. Akash calls us from Gujarat. He has investments, I believe, in HDIL. Hi, Akash. Hey, okay. All right. Hi, Akash. Akash?
नहीं सर मैं सुनील कुमार हूँ सर.
Hi, Mr. Sunil Kumar.
हाँ जी सर.
Namaste, sir. Good afternoon. How are you?
बढ़िया सर.
Superb. What is your query, sir?
सर मेरे पास NMDC के 1000 शेयर है 120 रुपए के हिसाब से और मैंने इनको डिविडेंड के हिसाब से रखा हुआ है. तो कैसा रहेगा और मैं इनको होल्ड करना चाहता हूँ सर.
लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए. लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए. लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टमेंट.
हाँ तो कैसा रहेगा सर. क्या मैं इसको होल्ड कर सकता हूँ सर और क्या अगर जैसे नीचे आ जाए तो मैं दोबारा खरीद सकता हूँ मैं.
Okay. All right. Okay, Sunil ji. What's the reply to this one? He bought it at around 120 rupees. He bought it as a dividend play. He doesn't mind holding it for the longer term, and he has some guts as well. He's saying, should I put some more money? Your take?
Well, if he's bought it as a dividend play, then the dividend becomes only more attractive when the price comes down.
Yeah.
You know, the dividend yield goes up. So that logic is perfect. But yeah, I think even otherwise, even from a otherwise, if you're looking at the fundamentals, yes, I think again, you know, because it's a government stock, there are always concerns because policy changes. You know, you may not get to increase or prices in line with markets, etc. But that has really not been the case over the last couple of years. So I would say it's a hold for me at this level, given the fact that I'm positive on metals as a place. So I think that holding on to NMDC is a good thing.
सुनील जी आपने कब खरीदा था ये?
सर मैं 3 साल से खरीदा हूँ सर और मैं चाह रहा हूँ कि जैसे कभी मान लो 110 से नीचे आ जाए या 5 से नीचे मैं इसको और खरीदना चाहता हूँ मैं लेकिन लॉन्ग टर्म चले डिविडेंड के हिसाब से तो इसके फंडामेंटल्स भी सही है क्या सर?
All right. Prakash, he's been holding it for the last 3 years. The company has been dividend giving, and the last one came on 27 March, 4.5 rupees per share. Do you think chartically he should hold on to this?
In fact, no. In fact, at 1 o'clock in the sister channel, Awas, there was some negative news being broken today. Looks like there was some price, iron ore prices was some issue out there. And I've given a sell there. I think it's going even below 100 zones.
Okay,
so
all right.
For me, it's a sell.
Just to address that news that Prakash is talking about, in fact, I was just speaking to the CNBC Awas, you know, our staff out there, and in fact, I was just speaking to the CNBC Awas, you know, our staff out there, and what happened was that iron ore prices are down by nearly around 6% approximately. That's globally they are down. Now for NMDC, it's a double whammy. One is because they hiked prices last month, so you know the expectation was they're hiking prices, they're going to be sure that at least the sales volumes will go through. Now the sales volumes didn't go through, so. Now the point is that global prices are falling. You already have a lot of inventory in Karnataka. How do you sell that? Only by a price cut. So in all probability, we're not confirming this, but in all probability, the case is very, very strong that NMDC cuts prices in the next 1 week or so. And I think the stock has started factoring that in. That's why the stock is down close to around 3.5% all through the trading session. It's been taking a bit of a knock.
All right, Nigel, fair point there. We will watch out for any official announcement as far as pricing is concerned on NMDC. But meanwhile, Sunil ji, आपके लिए राय यही है कि आप बने रहिए, डिविडेंड आता रहेगा, and at lower levels, शर्मिला ने कहा कि dividend yield जो है वो बढ़ जाएगी. But Prakash believes that the stock can go below 100 rupees. So if you can hold those losses, go ahead and hold the stock. But let's move on to the next one. Then we have PK Sharma writing to us from New Delhi, holds 2,000 shares of RCF at 88 rupees for the last 5 months. Long-term investor wants to know whether to hold or sell. Well, Sharmila, that's what investors want to know. The Chembur land, are they going to hold it or sell it?
Well, you know, very honestly, if you look at just the fertilizer business, then I think, you know, the stock is really, it's expensive at this level. So the whole story on this is whether they will sell that land, and my guess is that it's not going to be anytime soon. So I think if you really want to just look at a pure play, fertilizer play, I would really just exit the stock and get into something else. So my advice would be really to sell the stock at this level. In any case, I'm not too in favor of, you know, holding stocks where you're not comfortable with the business that they're in, but you're holding on to them because they have some land parcel which they can sell. I think that we can always buy for, you know, a trading pop when and if we get that news.
Okay, all right. I think we have another query actually that's already with us. I think we'll wait by. We're just getting another query that's likely to come in for the time being. Let's do a quick check on the markets then. You have, some of these stocks that are moving lower. Ajanta Pharma is suddenly taking a bit of a knock. Dish TV as well moving to the low point of the day. Let's get both these two stocks up for you on the screen. Ajanta Pharma, suddenly we're seeing some selling out there. Remember, Pharma has really been the place to be, but that stock is coming for some selling. And Dish TV as well, suddenly moving to the low point of the day. Remember, just around a week or so ago, we had news that big Rakesh Jhunjhunwala had bought stake at around 75 rupees odd. Well, slip into a short break, come back, we'll answer all your queries. Stay with us.
All right, so that was the BJP addressing the press. So in a sense, we've understood that BJP has withdrawn support to the J&K government and the alliance with PDP has ended. As our sister channel was reporting, seems like a few triggers were the violence that took place in the last month, the killing of Mr. Bukhari, as well as the soldier who was going to his house. So we'll keep an eye out on political developments out there. Currently, the press conference is underway.
Yeah, we'll also have to see what PDP has to say. Are they going to be sitting in opposition then? Are they going to be joining the coalition opposition that we have been talking about? Let's see what happens out here. We'll have to hear it from what the BJP has to say as well as the reasons as to what happens. I think from here now the president takes over, right, for a period of 6 months or before re-elections. I think that's likely to be the case. So we'll wait to hear exactly what happens. But political
uncertainty is something that
this sort of news doesn't go down well with the markets. I think the market should come up. I think we would have moved to the low point of the day after this confirmation that's come.
The day, I mean, closer to the lower end of today's trading session, and in an otherwise weak market, bad news only exacerbates the situation. So what do you do in a situation like this? Well, call CNBC TV18. We have our experts still sitting with us. So let's go on to the next query. We have Kuldeep Singh writing to us from New Delhi, holds 2,000 shares of Bombay Dyeing at 88 rupees for the last 2 years. Long-term investor wants to know whether to hold or sell. Well, 88 rupees, the stock is quoting at 220 rupees. He's making a hefty 2.5 lakh rupees, Sharmila. Bombay Dyeing, what do you think? Should he hold on, or I mean, what's your recommendation?
Yeah. I think we were talking of RCF earlier, and you had a land bank story. I think here too there is that expectation that they have land at various locations, and in fact in this case they probably have monetized a bit of it also. So, and I think he's made decent gains from where he's bought it at. So I would think that he should book his profits and really sell this, because I think in that sense the story for Bombay Dyeing has played out.
Okay, all right. Prakash, your take on Bombay Dyeing, what's the view?
Just hold on. He's making money. His cost is so low. He can take a lot of beating if he wants to, because basically the structure is positive. See some correction. 180, 200 is a strong support zone to work with. I think he might start his up journey once again.
So 180 is
very strong support.
Very strong support zone. All right. So that's the advice that's coming in there. Technically, well, Prakash believes you can hang in there, and maybe in fact the stock is currently in process of bottoming out. By the way, the Nifty is moved lower. Let's pull up the Nifty. We are now testing the lows of the day. Sun Pharma and Lupin. Remember, Pharma was the space. When we just started off the show, we were saying that's the lone warrior. That's doing really well. Pull up both those two stocks, Sun Pharma as well as Lupin. Both of them have moved to the low point of the day. So let's get the intraday chart of both those two stocks up for you on the screen. As is, we were trading with some weakness. And really, in fact, there's nowhere to hide, really, if you have to put it in that context. Only one stock is advancing for every 4 stocks that are declining. Well, on that note, I think we should pull in another query. Do we have another query? Okay, let's try to squeeze in one final query. We have Mr. Ram, who writes to us from Andhra Pradesh, holds around 2,000 shares of Mangalam Drugs and Organics at around 300 since the last 1 year. Medium-term investor wants to know whether or not to hold or to sell. Medium-term, do you track it, Sharmila?
Well, I looked at it just before I came here, and I'm not particularly impressed with this last quarter numbers. So I think just judging by that and the price that it's at, I think for me the stock is a sell.
Sell. Okay, Prakash, what about you? Do you look at Mangalam the drugs?
I don't look at it, but Mangalam Balu?
No. This, all right.
This Mangalam says no to drugs. That's the advice coming in on.
Luckily, you're not saying no to other things. All right. But Prakash, what's the view on the stock?
It's a clear-cut sell. Weak structure. Absolutely weak structure.
All right, so I think
so the stock is a sell, and the jury's out on what's going to happen with Mangalam. Thanks so much, Sharmila, as well as Prakash, for joining in and helping us with all those queries. Wrap on the show. You stay with us. Closing bell comes up next.